Well, as we've mentioned this morning, it's Elvis Presley's birthday today, and while many of his fans think they know a lot about the King, there is a side to his story that is only now being fully told. Young Aussie sound engineer Bruce Jackson was the key man at the front of the stage for hundreds of Elvis's concerts in the 70s. Elvis loved him and trusted him so much. Let's hear how he gave Bruce a birthday surprise live in concert.
I'd like to take just a minute, ladies and gentlemen, one of my sound engineers, a guy named Bruce Jackson. He's from Australia, and today's his birthday. I wish you a happy birthday, Bruce. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bruce. Bruce. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, wow. What that moment. That's incredible. Bruce Jackson's story has been told in a book which documents many details of his life on the road with Elvis. Bruce's brother, Gary Jackson, and Bruce's friend, Julius Grafton, are here with us now. Gentlemen, great to have you here.
Wow, thank you.
Gary, we'll now start with you. You seem sad seeing that moment with Elvis. Does it bring back some memories of your brother?
It brings back a lot of memories of him. That was a high point. It came after some conflict with Elvis.
Oh.
Because Bruce used to mix stage monitors, and he'd sit at the edge of the stage, which brought him into close contact with Elvis. And anything to do with the sound, Elvis would come and complain to Bruce about it. It led to Bruce quitting one day.
Oh.
And he didn't get as far as the front door when Elvis came out and said, no, I had a bad night. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. And so from that point, Elvis conversed directly with Bruce, and the relationship became unusually strong and different because of Bruce's Australian, straightforward nature.
It's an incredibly intimate and close relationship that a musician has with their sound engineer, and a lot of non-musicians probably wouldn't understand it, but you are really you almost become the same thing. Did he talk to you about, what was Elvis like to work with, apart from that, incident? Was he a perfectionist? Was there a sort of sound he was after?
Bruce and Elvis were both perfectionists. When Elvis came to rely on Bruce for everything to do with the sound, because he was his closest contact. Julius will tell you why he came to rely on him, because he made huge improvements to not only Elvis's sound, but to all touring sound that followed.
What was the benchmark? How did he actually improve that? Because we're talking the 70s, and you lost your brother some years ago, but what did he invent in terms of sound?
The first thing was he put himself down at the edge of the stage to mix stage monitors, because Elvis was complaining that with the audience sound coming at him, he couldn't hear what he was singing. So Bruce invented stage monitors.
Wow.
And Elvis liked the idea and added more and more and more to the stage. And the second thing Bruce did was he saw at Disney World on ice, he saw they were hanging the speakers because they couldn't put them on the ice. So Bruce adapted that, and by putting the speakers above Elvis, the audience was able to hear Elvis better.
I mean, they are really big innovations.
Yeah.
They are. And you see them today in 50 high columns of speakers. And that all derives from Bruce. Is that right?
Absolutely right. He invented equipment. So he built a lot of the things that we still use today.
So, Julius, you were a great mate of Bruce. How did you get to know each other? How good was he at his job? What did he tell you about Elvis?
He was the best. He had four things going for him. First was that he was a genuinely fantastic sound engineer. Now, there are plenty of those in Australia still today, guys and girls, that can mix great sound. The second thing was what we were just talking about. Bruce invented things that hadn't been done before, and that's affected today. The third was he had something unique for many sound people. He had charisma. And he could relate to famous people, and a lot of that's to do with the upbringing. Gary and Bruce were brought up in Altona on the harbour front, and their parents had a guest house for Hollywood VIPs. He was exposed at an early age to fame. So he could not only relate to the likes of Bruce or Barbra Streisand, but he could also stand up to them.
Yes.
And they weren't used to that.
They weren't as important to him as, you know, other people treat them with
That's
such
it.
reverence.
They loved it. That was the third. But the fourth thing he had was he was damn good looking.
It must run in the family, hey?
Yeah. Elvis gave him a gold necklace. Tell us the story, but it was special.
It was a TCB necklace, and Elvis called Bruce after a show. He called Bruce into the dressing room, and he said, "Bruce, I've got something here for you. It's long overdue." And he gave him the box, opened up the box, and pinned and hung the gold TCB necklace over his neck, over his head. And the other TC members came into the room and welcomed him to the club.
So tell me, what is TCB? Taking care of business.
It was Elvis's inner circle.
Okay.
And it was taking care of business. It was, he designed it with Priscilla, and it was a TCB with a lightning flash. And it meant taking care of business in a flash. That's what it meant.
And who else was in that inner circle?
Anybody, the band members, not everyone. It was by invitation, and if you were a TCB member, Bruce wore his, but he didn't display it like the other members displayed it. It was very much a status symbol.
And what was the private Elvis like? We all think we know that the King. What was he like behind closed doors?
It was different. Bruce got to know. Bruce saw the exterior side of that, but when he was invited into Elvis's private domain, he saw a different side to him.
And what was that like?
There was one incident that demonstrates what that was like. Elvis had quite a few girlfriends, as you can imagine, and they used to sit with Bruce at his console. And as time went by, Linda Thompson was eased out, and Bruce told us by letters and talking tapes that this was going to happen. And next thing, Ginger Alden appears on the scene, and so next thing, Ginger Alden's sitting next to Bruce at the console.
Wow.
And after one show, 2 a.m. in the morning, Bruce gets a knock at the door. It's the Elvis Mafia. They say,
The Memphis Mafia.
the Memphis Mafia.
The Goon Squad.
Yeah, the Goon Squad. Bruce, the boss wants to see you, and he doesn't look happy. So Bruce says, "Oh, jeez, what have I done?" So he pulls his jeans on, pulls his T-shirt on, and goes up to Elvis's suite up on the top floor. And Elvis is there, sitting on his bed in his karate outfit, and his gold gun is on the bedside table.
Oh, gold gun.
Yes. and Bruce said, "Oh, no, what's going on?" And Elvis said, "Bruce, I hear you've been messing around with Ginger. I saw you put your hand on her knee in tonight's performance." And Bruce said, "Oh, no, Elvis, no," because Bruce went red, very embarrassed. He said, "That didn't happen. I'm sorry, Elvis." Elvis let him stew for about a minute, and then he laughed and said, "Oh, only kidding." He gave him a hug, and then he talked about the sound.
Oh my God, that's kind of twisted. How strange. Now, Elvis only lost confidence in Bruce once, but you've actually brought on a couple of things. So let's hear Bruce, in his own words, talking about that when he met our very own Denise Drysdale a few years ago. Have a look.
One time he was, I think, not hearing himself very well, or just having a bad day, and he started picking on me, and he stopped the show and in front of 20,000 people and said, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk to my sound engineer." "Oh, no, well, I just had my blue jeans on and a T-shirt, and there I am standing next to him with his jumpsuit on, and he says, you know, stand there and listen to what I'm hearing." So I had to stand there for a whole song, a number of times.
Yes, he was a perfectionist.
He was. Yeah.
Also, you know, the talent of your brother was just enormous. He went on after we lost Elvis to work with so many other people, including Bruce Springsteen. He literally snapped him up.
Wow.
Yeah, Bruce.
Let's have a listen. Let's have a
to the
listen to
boss.
Bruce Springsteen now.
We started to work together. He did the sound, and I learned very early on that Australians are unique. He told me a few stories about Elvis. When he worked for Elvis, he worked at the side of the stage, and just it was something that always struck me. I said, "Hey, I got Elvis's guy. Elvis's man is working for me in the house."
Wow.
Amazing.
Incredible.
And Gary, your brother obviously is no longer with us. Tell us about that. He died tragically in a plane accident.
Bruce was a very keen pilot. he was living in Lititz in Pennsylvania first of all, and he flew everywhere. He'd fly at midnight. He'd fly into New York for a sightseeing trip and come back again. When he moved to LA, he kept his plane in a hangar at Santa Monica Airport. And one Sunday afternoon, with nothing to do, he flew out to Death Valley to check on some real estate. It was an hour's flight, and on 5 minutes into the flight on the way back, he crashed.
Wow. And this is something, a love of small aircraft, it was something that he shared with Elvis. So in some sort of...
Elvis was a plane enthusiast.
Yeah.
That's why he hired so many. He hired the Playboy plane at one stage, and bought his own plane. And Bruce got to take that to Miami to have a new sound system installed.
Wow.
And I think he got bitten by the flying bug.
Yeah.
Wow. And so he bought his own plane, then he got more and more into it, and then he bought a bigger plane, and that's the plane he crashed.
Well, your brother certainly has left an extraordinary legacy. The book that's been written is called Bruce Jackson On the Road with Elvis. Details are at brucejackson.com.au. Gary and Julius, thank you so much for coming along and sharing your story. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next.